Here's my review for the ES for March 30th. And I have, well, today it opened up out of range, higher out of range again. And touched down at yesterday's previous high. Kind of came up roughly pretty close to where it started, where it opened, 85. It ended, around 82. So, and that VPOC barely moved all day. Didn't appear to move until the end there. And like you can see, it just pretty much the entire day, something happened in here, and we had this move, but the retail price stayed here until right around closing time, shortly before it went down a little bit. Could this mean we just keep going further up? I don't know. Where's the higher targets I'm looking at? God, this thing. It's a good program. It's just not very user friendly. Okay, we got 41.44 going further up. It's an NVPOC. And, if it gaps up 2 days in a row like that, that would make me figure, who's on the hook. Could it be where those gaps happen? And stuff obviously happened between these. These are intraday here. They started, this is just RTH until, these are just RTH hours. So, after 2 days of gaps like that, I figured, we'd probably be looking at shorts because we don't just have that gap. So it closed this gap. But then we still have this gap where it could come down. There's an NVPOC down here, 40, 41.50. So that's a place on the downside. And look, see these orange ones, those are NVPOCs. Price didn't touch them yet. That's 40.10, 39.93. We got this too that could end up being a support or not. So I'll just maybe more that this happens. I'm just more like, that's just guesswork. Can see stuff happens fairly often, but it's all just a guess in the end. But I'm going to bring this up here. So we have a higher out of range. So we've got that one. Got that one. Which one? I'd say, we ended up going higher, which was weird. Well, it did test yesterday's high. IBH or IBL broken 97% of the time. IBH favored by only 8%. Yeah, and that's, well, this is one day, but here's trying to talk about the context. That's what I'm trying to put this together, with that, and then with all this. Where am I going? Well, God, see this thing keeps doing this. This is pissing me off. Okay, well we got the idea on that higher time frame. I'm getting tired of that IRT thing. So it has a bunch of what a hassle to use that thing. And it's not cheap either. So I don't know if I might get rid of that. Because the data cuts out on me and stuff too. So it gets while during the trading day it gets annoying. So let's just look at like at the open. Just look like at the open. 86. See if I can get this damn thing to. What the hell? Why is this thing messing up my trying to make this recording too? Oh god, okay, there it is. Jeez. What a hassle. Okay. Okay, well 6:30. Yeah, went up to 85. What's on 85 here? Hell, I don't see anything really significant there. So, but yeah, you know, overall 2 gap days going up. Figure it would go down, possibly, because it's always trying to gather statistics on flipping a coin, pretty much. Stuff is random. But I mean, look, this is trying to test a lower level that's lower. This is also trying to test a lower level. And what did we have happen today? It went and it tested yesterday's high. So the overnight high, I remember Tom going over his stream saying that there's a high probability of taking out the overnight high. Which I go on here. Where's that overnight high at? So your overnight high was around, oh, that doesn't, I gotta mess with that thing again to get it to work properly. Testing my audio working? Okay, it's working. Okay, well, I was basically looking short for it to try to test somewhere in this gap, you know, quite possibly going down to here, you know, but then I know that there's these up here, 44, 41, 44, and 63. So those are on the upside, and then we've got all these going on down. So that's those are where I'm looking at. So let me try to get the today's screenshot. Is that the 30th? Wait, it's is this? 330, 29th, 30th. Okay, yeah, there it is. See if I can open this up in a green shot. Okay, so we look, there's where I went short, because larger time frame I was going over all that, and it was looking short. Like that's pretty good probability that would be looking at it trying to test down lower. So that 71.75, that was the IB low. My labeling system here is not working. The IRT thing is just hellishly complicated to try to figure out how to get that thing to work. I might just go back to manually labeling all this crap. And, then I scaled here, and I exited right there. So there it is, kind of went there, and then down to here. And we go back on a Bookmap. Or was this 9:38 a.m.? I'm gonna put a line here, 71.75. Let's see, so I got in here. I got in there, there it is, 9:20. So right around 9:20. And picture, so 9:20, so it dipped below that IB low. But then, part of it was I was saying, this is not looking very favorable for, an IBF. Even with that, the higher time frame is saying, hey, there's a bunch of stuff down here. It didn't retest. It could always go up too, but just reading the order flow is let's see, we have these buy absorptions also, and they're not taking the price up higher. And there's liquidity sitting all down here and not all that much above. Although, this whole thing will start to light up when there's some retail stops going on. That's a pretty common area, mid, VWAP, VPOC. So in hindsight, that would have been a better one, but it moved so fast, I wouldn't have been able to execute in there. So this is what I was looking at. And then it zigged and zagged, but it was still looking really weak, like, trying to come up. So I just sat there. I was like, it seemed higher probability to me that it was headed down. And, I scaled right there. And then I scaled right there. No, that's the exit. So I backed is just like a tick under 7 points total with the scale. So that's enough to where you can go, you know, that's not that bad of a day. That's, you know, that's over 350 bucks right there is in simulation. I'm still working on this whole thing. But well, that's what I did. See what other stuff I can look at on here that might be of any kind of use to me later. Hey, that's oh, this is pretty choppy. That would make you want to get the barf bucket out. You're going on this. It's a roller coaster. Oh, crap. That might make me want to puke right there. Can get something cleaner like this, you don't know in advance. There's an exit I see this, I would probably get out. I was short here. I don't want anything to do with that open. I just, beyond my skill level to try to operate it right in the open, at the RTH open. So here's my stop divergence, icebergs. It's coming back up here. You see anything here? It's relevant. Well, we've got the icebergs. So you don't know what time frame they're operating in though. But, you know, if it goes with some stops and with some of these liquidity markers, might be going, okay, there's some indication here. There could be starting to turn around. You know, and then you have these. Yeah, so you've got this. No, it just missed it. They pulled before it hit. They pulled that liquidity before that hit in there. And so did this one. Looks like this one actually got in there. Yeah, see they it looks like, yeah, they did. They got in here. It activate all that. So you're seeing this buy activity going off, a lot of it. That's going off. So that's a sign, you know, that there's some you know, it's hard to tell, are the buyers in or is that just the sellers getting out, and the sellers aren't that, and the buyers aren't that strong yet. You know, but in this case it went back up, retested this this low volume node here, and then it came back down, tested this where this liquidity was. And that's also an outside edge of this profile, which is very hard to tell, am I really at the outside edge or not? Because it can go right down through all this liquidity also. No, but that did turn out to be where it started to go back up, and you could see that as a possibility. The VPOC never moved until very close to the end of the session. And look, a lot of bids here filled, a lot of bids here filled. Gives us some more fuel to go up. And see, it went back to the retail stops. And then this is where everybody kind of piled on and exited out for the day. Even here, that you have a lot, you know, you even have all the way down to 11:30 a lot of cell liquidity and cell absorptions, and they're trying to get out. And well, that's interesting looking. Let's look at that. Oh, look at that. There's a oh, that's pretty interesting right there. 'Cause it looks like it went in here, did its thing. That's showing buyers. It's a buy absorption. A lot of buyers absorbed, and then it went down for a little bit, zigzag, and but you got all these resting liquidities up here. Resting liquidity. Yeah, and then see, it went for the liquidity. The VPOC shifted down because this became our new VPOC here. And then it all ended. Oh, this was after hours. That's kind of can see in the bigger scheme of things, you know, here's it's trying to basically go back to where it started. It became a VHVN, and it tested that, went into here, and no, I guess that's about all I have. I'm going to end the video. I kind of did this tonight. I just want to try to stay disciplined doing these as much as I can, and then I can go review them. It's a pretty good way of journaling what I'm doing. And I'm going to end the video here.